posted up with the superstar herself.
Woo woo! You gotta tell somebody, and they better tell somebody else. What's up, believers? It's your girl Tamira Fair on the air, and today is Tell Me Something Good Tuesday. And you just told me something good, Marcel. Now turn to your neighbor and tell them something good.
Something good. Well, you know what we take for granted so often? The activities of our limbs. Until you can't move one of those fingers, sometimes we don't appreciate
Where you
it.
coming from?
Well, listen, that's not where you're coming from, Lord Jesus. Well, somebody didn't wake up with the right mind. Somebody didn't wake up with the activities of the limb. So for that, just tell the Lord thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know what? I was holding something today and I had a little pain in my finger. And then I remembered why I had the pain in my finger. But you're right. I was very glad that the pain went away.
It could have went another way. But you know what, believers? We're going to keep this party going. We got a jam-packed show for you today. We got guests after guests after guests. We got hot topics. Of course, it's community chatter. And there's so much going on in the city. So we're going to keep it rolling. Call your friends and your frenemies.
I don't have any frenemies.
No, you know what you do.
No, I don't. Let me tell you why I know. Because for my birthday, I purged them.
Well, okay.
Season, y'all.
Well, you can purge the ones you know, but some unfortunately don't know.
But the second I know them, it's
then it's purged. I just told someone on the phone. They texted and said a certain person was talking about you and blah, blah, blah. And I said, you know what? The joy of the Lord is my strength. I said, because guess what? When I walk in that room, that person's going to be on me like a cheap suit.
You know, let me tell you something. You're right, because I have heard now, you know, you have your confidants, you have the people that actually tell you the truth, right?
Yeah.
So I have heard that prior to me walking in a building, that someone was like really disparaging my name. And then the second I walked in, like, oh my God, that's such a nice outfit.
Yeah.
So for all of you who do that, come up to me and just say, look, I don't really like you like that, but I do like your outfit.
No, you got to tell me, because guess what? I ain't losing no sleep at night.
But I'm just saying, don't kick it with me. You ain't got to be phony to kick it with me.
You know what? Listen. Jesus taught us. The Bible is our roadmap. Judas was a part of his crew, but you know what? He knew he was going to betray him, but he let him keep hanging. It's a testament to sometimes we know, but you got to watch, you got to pray, and you got to let God lead. We're going to let him lead this hour, because when we get back, we got so much to share right here on the Brunch Bunch on Inspiration 1390.
All I'm saying, believe
all I'm saying is cut the check.
All I'm saying is, as soon as I know. Now, I ain't Jesus, and I don't got that heart. I don't got the heart of Jesus. Whew, boy. Let's see. Let me tame this down. But anyway, if I know you are, like, not for me and you around me, guess what? I'm going to just peace out. It's okay.
Oh,
now,
shoot.
You can do what you want to do. Marcel said he going to do like Jesus did, and he going to keep the Judases. I am purging Judas. This is purging Judas season.
But you know what?
Judas gotta go.
The thing about it is, sometimes we don't know our Judas.
Judas gotta go.
Sometimes you don't know the Judas.
But I'm saying the second you know.
And sometimes you never know.
But okay, I'm gonna say it slow, so I ain't gotta say it no more. I said the second
that you know. But that's why I said you said you don't have any frenemies.
Before you came.
Coffee. But you said I don't have any frenemies.
I don't.
You don't know that though.
I do.
You don't. You may have someone that is a friend of me. They're your friend and your enemy.
I know what friend of me.
I know. I'm just trying to say.
You got a whole time.
Because you said you purging them once you know, but sometimes we go through life and we don't know. That's the unfortunate part.
I feel like that's kind of on you though for not knowing.
No, because people smile in your face. They tell you, yeah, they nice. But then if nobody's telling you, most people not blessed like Tamara and I, where people gonna come and tell you like, so-and-so said this about you.
But you know what? When people tell me that, I believe them.
Yeah.
Like seriously. And then I might not say anything to that person that they've warned me about, but then I start watching that person to see, because sometimes you don't see the signs.
I don't believe all the time. You got to trust but verify, right?
Always trust.
Because
that's why I was saying you got to watch them.
If somebody called me and say, Tamara was saying, you a fat slob and you this and that, I'm going to be like, no, that ain't Tamara. Now, they call me and say, yeah, Tamara said you don't answer that phone. You ain't good at following up. I'm like, I'm going to tell her, don't be telling my business, because I know that will be true. So you got to trust but verify. You got to know your people.
But if I'm going to call you a fat slob, I'm going to call it to you.
Some people won't, though.
So there'll be no ambiguity.
A good circle of friends if you don't have those people that'll come and say that.
But that's why they call a friend of me. Sometimes they're not your close circle of friends, but they're a friend but they also your enemy. Like Judas was Jesus' friend, but he ended up betraying him.
Everybody don't want the type of
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you something.
I'm good on that.
But I just got a call about somebody, and which I don't care because they paying me too. But it's like they talking about me. Oh well, I go to sleep at night. And when I walk in that room, watch that what they gonna do. They gonna be in my face.
Zell me. Like if you hire me to do something.
Good point, Tina, and that's why you hold your friends close and your enemies closer.
Not me, buddy.
You do though.
Ooh. So you know what? We've been talking so much about P. Diddy and all of the fallout that comes with P. Diddy. We forgot that our brothers from another persuasion also got some stuff going on. But this is actually good stuff because Jeff Bezos' wife, his ex-wife, I should say, is using Amazon money to help Black women. Now, I'm saying this because, you know, our show is based on leveling you up, giving you resources, news you can use so that you can take flush accounts, flush funds, and you can actually use them to level you and your family up. So Mackenzie Scott got a pretty hefty payday when she divorced Amazon founder, former CEO, and all-around bajillionaire Jeff Bezos in 2019. So the $38 billion settlement that she received made her one of the richest women in the world. But you may be surprised to learn that although Amazon has faced criticism for lack of diversity in its highest paying jobs, Scott has been using her dough to do good, pledging to give away more than half of her wealth, including donating millions of dollars to nonprofit organizations focusing on supporting Black mothers and Black babies. Most recently, Scott donated $2 million each to the Birthing Beautiful Communities, an Ohio community-based doula program that supports Black mothers through pregnancy and childbirth, and the Center for Black Women's Wellness, a community-based organization in Atlanta, Georgia, dedicated to health of disadvantaged Black women and families. Why is this so important? Because infant mortality in Black women is at an all-time high, and it's staying there. It is not going down. But according to the Center for Disease Control, Black women are 3 times more likely to die from a pregnancy-related issue than white women. Why? Because healthcare, premium gold-rated healthcare, is just not as affordable or accessible in Black communities. Well,
do you think that's the only thing?
No, I think that we have a lot more at-risk issues, drugs, just different situations that poverty does not allow you to cure right away. Not only that, it doesn't necessarily have to be poverty driven. It could just be the lack of. There's a lack in Black.
And ignorance.
Yeah, and I want to clarify ignorance because a lot of people think ignorance means that you're just acting wild. Ignorance means lack of knowledge.
The lack of knowledge.
Yes.
Yep.
So in a statement on the organization's website, Jasmine Long, president and CEO of Birthing Beautiful Communities, said that Scott's donation will help achieve the goal of opening Cleveland's only freestanding birth center, where along with providing a safe place for women to give birth, they will provide services, including nutrition classes and doula training. Now, for those of you who don't really understand what a doula is, that's nothing. It's just ignorance, like you said, lack of knowledge. That's what we're here for, so that we can educate you. Doula training goes beyond and before birth. It tells you how to properly care for your prenatal care needs and then beyond birthing needs. So there's something that is for Black women, by Black women, and that is these 2 organizations that she donated to. So to date, the 53-year-old philanthropist has given out a whopping $17.3 billion to organizations that support people in underserved communities. Well, this past March, Scott donated over $640 million to 361 organizations in response to an open call for applications from community-based organizations across the country. Why is this important to you? We have a plethora of grassroots community-based organization leaders that listen to us every single day that you may or may not have known that this resource was available and how flush these funds are. If you are, I want you to definitely look up where Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, her name is Mackenzie Scott. I definitely want you to look up when her next tranche of giving is going to be, and you get on her giving list.
Well, you know what? She gives She doesn't. I now went on her site because she's been giving some big money.
Big money, big money,
big money, multi-million dollars, and a few Chicago organizations have been blessed. They don't necessarily take applications, but I was telling someone yesterday.
I said lists. I didn't say applications. I said that intentionally.
Because they really look and they're on Google and your site. What you're doing needs to be visible. So you got to make sure you invest in just as much in your marketing and social media and your website that you're doing the actual services. Because in social service, if it's not documented, it didn't happen, right?
That's right.
And so African American organizations lack that the stats and the statistics and knowing how many people you serve, and then having it documented so people can go online and just see the work that you're doing. Because oftentimes you don't have the opportunity to be in a room to share what you're doing, and that's what she's been doing. But I do want to say kudos to her. I was trying to look up who, I don't know if it's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad or Minister Louis Farrakhan, who said only a fool allows his enemy to educate his children. And that statement is true. Only a fool allows his enemy to operate and be their doctor, right? Because there's a documentary I sent to the Brunch Bunch page where in the 1969, 70s, Black doctors were talking, and you would think it was today. They were talking about why it's so important to have Black doctors. And they gave an example of a doctor went into an African American's mouth and saw dark gums, and it started diagnosing them with all of these issues when it was just because they're Black that their gums didn't look like a white person's gum. And so they were talking about how misdiagnosis. So when you talk about,
was that an honorary MD they had?
No, that was just a black and white thing, and we, for hundreds of years, though, Black people weren't looked at as real people. That's why we were told, that's why they did all the studies on us without medicine, because Black people didn't need painkillers because we can endure the pain and all of that. And that's the issues in the healthcare system still to this day, because when Valencia was pregnant with Maddox, I told you, and I said on this show, how the white woman doctor came in the room at 7 months, told us, yeah, we think you have this certain type of cancer, and we think you should abort the baby. Would you like to abort the baby? And that's at 7 months. We've named this baby. This baby is alive and well. And then after we told her no, before she left, after 20 minutes of talking, she said, so I just want to confirm, you don't want to abort the baby? But my question was, would that have been the question to a white mother? Or would we have been asking, what can we do to save this baby and this mother, right? And that's the disparities that we have. And some of them, not all of them, but I can go on and on.
Well, that's a very good question, because what will we do to save this white baby is very issue laden right now, because you've done something statutorily to save this white baby. You reverse Roe versus Wade so that you could continue to procreate at numbers that you haven't been, because your population is dwindling, and you think that the power base is also dwindling with your population. Yeah, but you know what? Those are very good questions. That's why it's important that you have the presence of mind, the will of God, and the belief in a higher power that can give you what you need. Yeah. But you know what? The timeline for the application process, which she does have a timeline for application process. Applicants must have been in operation for more than 5 years in order to receive funding from her foundation. So January 1st, the initial application needs to be submitted, and they accept applications between January the 1st and April the 30th. So the initial grant application is foundation review through May 31st, and then June 30th, the final grant application is due, and the foundation review then goes through September the 30th. December 15th, that's when the grants are distributed. So it's not a very long timeline, but you got to know about these resources in order to take advantage of these resources.
And we'll post it on our Brunch Bunch page at Brunch Bunch 1390 so that you can get that information. It's always our aim to send you back better than you came. And you know what? That's what we do, because we love you here on the Brunch Bunch.
But you know what I want to ask, and this is going to be our exclusive topic for the people that are viewing us online. If you really want to know that topic, then you're going to have to join us on either Brunch Bunch or Instagram, Tammy T on Instagram, or you can join us on Brunch Bunch on Facebook.
Now, you messed up my outro. Because I had it laid out. I'm like, because we love you. And then I was going to alley-oop into the song. Do you believe in love? It's Erica Campbell. Do you believe in love? Right here on the front.
So exclusively, y'all. This is just your topic. So if you were a billionaire or you inherited or you won in a settlement, all these billions, just like Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, would you be inclined to give away half of your fortune? Half of your fortune. Would you be inclined to do such?
Half of that money.
Would you, Tammy?
Still half of that money.
I would.
Okay,
I mean, Jeff had to give up half. You know what I mean?
But he was forced to.
he was forced to give up half.
She don't want that dirty money, no.
Yeah, she do.
First of all, rich
Put your
people.
comments in. So King Detroit said absolutely he would give up half of his money. Absolutely.
And it's not really giving it up, though, if you think about it. Because when rich people give, it comes back. And it's tax write-offs. It's
But you're not gonna get 15 billion in tax write-offs.
yeah, you ain't gonna get a full 15 billion tax write-off, but you're gonna get a lot of new relationships. You're gonna get a Nobel Peace Prize. You still gonna be a billionaire, right? Frenemies. Oh, she probably got a million frenemies.
Probably one for every dollar.
I got a friend of me that I've been knowing for years as a friend of me, and I don't care. And I make a lot of money off of this friend of me,
I
too.
wouldn't care
So
either.
it's like,
I'm making
whatever.
a lot of money off of the friend.
So you know so-and-so was talking
They
about
more
you.
of a friend
Thank
than
you.
enemy.
Let them keep talking.
So King Detroit, you would give up half of your fortune, and tell me why you would give up half of your fortune.
Jarrell, fade this, go to commercial. What's going on? We got to start at 12:30.
So you say you would definitely give it, and you would give. Jarrell, would you give up half of your fortune?
For who? For what?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. I would give it up as long as it was in support of
for something good.
I was in support of.
I would give it up.
I ain't giving it to just a woman.
He says he's done it before. His blessings are returned tenfold.
Yep. I would definitely give it up.
You would give it
I
up.
pray to win the Powerball so I can give it. I got a list of all the things and people I would give money to.
Really?
I promise you.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that list helped me win, because I'm thinking good. No, I'm joking. But I do think about all the impact I can make if I won $300 million or $1 billion.
Okay, now I want you guys to be very clear about Mackenzie Scott. Okay, Mackenzie was married to Jeff Bezos. This is different than a lotto. A lotto is chance. You were married to Jeff Bezos and you got a divorce, which would indicate. Listen, hear me out. Which would indicate that there was trouble in paradise, and so paradise
When
had
I
to
come
end,
back
right?
on tomorrow,
You don't know
I want
what
you
she
to
had to
record.
endure
That's true.
to get that money. Whereas, conversely, when you win the lotto, it is a luck of the draw or luck of the number that you chose. It's very painless. So you remember, you're giving away your money. Hi, everybody. You're giving away your money that you may have had to, through blood, sweat, tears, and anguish, obtain. So be very specific about you giving away your money.
I don't know if she went through $15 billion worth of pain, though.
Hey, Lisa, hey, how you doing?
That's a lot of pain.
How long we got, Jarrell?
How you doing? It's good to see you.
Yes, please.
I know you're getting up there.
That's all I had.
Hi, attorney. Okay.
All right, what's
Well,
going
we got
on?
a full house and it's full of
Go to what's
greatness.
going on.
So money not make you happy, only makes life easier. That's a very good point.
Edward Brown, I would love to respond to you, but we are short on time.
Thank you guys for commenting. Keep your comments coming in the thread. These are excellent comments. So Edward Brown says that what really bothers me is black always lay on what the white man is doing and black men. Quick to harbor.
Where's the action, Jackson?
I'll read it in a minute.
So what's going on is tomorrow is the Bellwood Chamber of Commerce annual scholarship dinner. It is going down Wednesday, June the 12th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. at the Sheet Metal Workers Local 73. That's 4550 Roosevelt Road in Hillside, Illinois. Tickets are only $75 for members, $100 for non-members. And the theme is showing appreciation for future generations. And of course, yours truly is honored to be the keynote speaker at tomorrow's dinner. Woo, 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 woo. Shout out to the Bellwood Chamber of Commerce for choosing me and having me on their mind. And you know what? I've been thinking very diligently and praying about what to talk about tomorrow. And a few themes have come to mind. And thanks to Tammy and her behind the scene questions, because that helps to inspire. But you know what? As entrepreneurs, and one of our listeners was just talking about us, the crab in the barrel syndrome, and Black people. So
Edward.
Yeah, tomorrow we're gonna my speech, and I'm still praying and crafting it, but we're gonna talk about value, collaboration, which we don't see too much of in our community. And we're going to get away from the crab in the barrel, and we're going to figure out how to really support and lift each other up. Because one thing that we do, it doesn't take anything away from me by supporting you, and it doesn't take anything away from you by supporting me. And so if you're free, come out tomorrow and listen. I'm just grateful to God for the blessings of being booked, booked and busy. Booked and busy.
Actually, I'm going to come.
Whoa, we're going to have a celebrity in the room. Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to come out. I said yesterday or today that I don't get out as much as I would like to get out, because all the things that go on kind of keep me in. But I really want to hear this message, because I think it's very important that we resonate with each other, understand that we have to have resources and solutions, not just talk about the problems.
Yep.
So I know you are a solution-based person.
I'm solution-based. I'm excited. Then this Friday, yours truly will be hosting the Chicago Defender Men of Excellence 2024. I'm so excited. I'm so blessed. And you know what? Tamara inspires me, and when I'm around. So when I was being driven into work today, I was like, man, I'm almost like Tammy. And then I got a text from my stylist. Shout out to GQ Men's Fashion. And he said, when can you come in so I can style you for all your upcoming events? And so that's a blessing. Shout out to Eric Knowles, GQ Men's on the South Side. But I just wanted to share that with the believers. So if you're free, join me tomorrow at the Bellwood Chambers meeting, on Friday at the Chicago Defender. It's a busy weekend, because then Saturday, I'm going over to the UNCF Gala. Woo-hoo! Which, listen, we're going to be talking about that more. And I'm so happy that one of my friends is being honored this year. So we're going to make it, it's just a weekend of weekends here in Chicago.
Unfortunately, I will not be able to come to the Men of Excellence, which I previously said that I was going to, because of course I forget my schedule every single day. But I'm going to be in Nashville because the Black Child Book Tour starts up again.
Okay, well,
so I'm going to be at the venue, which we will share tomorrow, so that all of you Nashvillians who are out, definitely come out and support the Purple Turtle book series.
Well, listen, if you want to win and continue to win it, you're going to continue to listen to the Brunch Bunch, because up next is Community Chatter with Win-Win Communications, Wynona Redmond, and we're going to take you even higher. It's Winning, Charles Jenkins, right here on the Brunch Bunch.
Y'all throw those W's up. Throw those W's up. Hey, Tanya.
So only do about a minute of this.
Turn it down for me, Jarrell. So, guys, if you inherited, or if you came into a windfall from a divorce settlement and you had billions, would you be inclined to give away half of your fortune?
Yeah. Listen,
if
Tammy.
so,
go ahead.
If so or if not, put it in the comments.
Mickey Whitney said, my son was diagnosed with an ear infection several times because his inner ear was dark. They put him on amoxicillin, penicillin every time. We later found out it was because his inner ears were dark like his gums. He never had symptoms of an ear infection, but his non-Black doctors weren't familiar with dark inner ears. Thankfully, a non-Black doctor was familiar with dark inner ears and immediately knew he didn't have an ear infection.
So they're treating him for something that he didn't even have.
That's the disparities just off of race sometimes, because they don't understand.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that you said that, Mickey Whitney, because I went to a school that was right across the street from where we produce 90% of our Black doctors. I went to Fisk University, as you know.
I tell Tammy this.
Across the street from that is Meharry. And at one time, now Howard is coming up because now they are actually producing more Black doctors than Meharry, but there's a decline on Black doctors. Don't think that because you have a Black doctor, that you have a doctor that's inferior. No, you have a doctor that knows your culture. And so this is a very good reason why you should seek those who look like you when you're doing whatever.
Because my black therapist, well, ain't nothing like my white therapist.
Nope.
My black therapist is real. Let's go.
Who
Oh,
will you
Lisa,
share with us? What will you share? What
he had a benign a tumor, and they wouldn't scan him for months. His doctor, he kept telling
Your
him.
own doctor?
Multiple doctors. I saw multiple.
Really?
brain
Why wouldn't they?
A brain tumor.
All right, we gotta go in, y'all.
So we gotta go in.
Okay,
Yep,
right.
yep. 3, 2, 1.
First of all, if you're not listening behind the scenes, you miss so much that goes on. Make sure you're following us at Brunch Brunch 1390. But of course, Tuesday is my absolute favorite day of the week because Wynona Redmond of Win-Win Communication brings us best friends, either new or old, but it's always somebody you should know. So welcome back, Wynona. Woo, 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 woo.
Thank you. You know, Charles Jenkins wrote my theme song. I told him that. And it's, of course, June is just full of everything. This could be Black History Month all by itself. It's Black Music Month, but Black Entrepreneur. I was part of the last Cook County Board meeting, and I was one of the ones that testified. Well, actually, just supported the fact that Cook County President Tony Preckwinkle, Cook County Commissioner Dennis Deere, and Bill Lowry, Stanley Moore, they declared the month of June as Juneteenth, Illinois, all month
Yes,
long.
yes.
And Chicago and Illinois leads the nation with all of the legislation. And the 4 pillars of Juneteenth is what we stand for. But freedom. And starting, of course, with the Inspiration 1390 brunch bunch.
Woo.
But the faith, we know faith leads all of our pillars.
Yes.
But it's justice. There's a health breakfast on June 22nd. Dr. Paris Thomas from Equal Hope will be one of the speakers. There is wealth. There is justice, the cash bail and all that the county has fought for. And then there's education. So this Friday, there is a scholarship event for Juneteenth, Illinois. The mayor, Brandon Johnson, will be speaking. We know he's an educator first as a leader.
Yeah.
So the Juneteenth, Illinois gives out scholarships, and they also have the students get engaged every month, all month. They don't just get a scholarship, they get mentored. This Friday, we also have Men of Excellence, former Man of Excellence, Marcel, and the host. And also, we have our guests today. So today, Community Chatter, we have 2 returning guests because they are not just guests, they're partners. So we have Dr. Paris Thomas. We have Lisa Rollins, who has made UNCF on the map nationally, not just in Chicago. But we have a new friend, and he'll be back. Stephen Hunter. He's also a former Man of Excellence and a current Man of Excellence. He's chairing the UNCF Gala.
Oh, wow.
So we have, thank you for letting us put a whole bunch of chairs in the studio because this is a full month. It's a full week. So we have Men of Excellence and our own Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson, an international figure who is from Chicago.
Yeah.
And he is the Lifetime Achievement Award. We can't take a single day with Reverend Jackson for granted. He will be honored this Friday in Tinley Park at Men of Excellence. Diana Lewis doing the job. Takuma Rogers doing the job. The Man of the Year just had to show folks that he's still bringing home all of the bacon. Congressman Danny K. Davis is the Man of the Year. And our own Julian Green is one of the vanguards from the Cubs. So that's Friday. This Saturday, we have the UNCF A Mind Is Gala. So with no further ado, I want to make sure we can jump in. This month of Black music, this month of Black excellence, but also just kudos to you, Tamara, with all of your education facilities. You and Marcel inspired on 1390 because I don't know how many brands and businesses you all have. You all just announced all of these events. You're going to the Black
child book tour.
But did you tell them that you got a doll to go with your book?
No, because I knew you was gonna tell them that. I knew
She
it.
got perfume, she got dolls, she got books, she got brick and mortar facilities. And Marcel, I don't know how many businesses, but I'm
Me to pray for me.
so they got properties and land. But the fact that Juneteenth, Illinois really is about freedom. When you see the just very disappointing backslide that we're taking in the nation, we're taking with all kind of justice. Juneteenth, Illinois is for real.
Yeah.
We've got to step up and continue to fight for freedom. Reverend Jackson said years ago, the problem with Black folks is that they have forgot to march. But these are days where we got to stand up and do the freedom. But welcome. I'm not going to take up any more time because there's so much to cover. But I want to bring Lisa Rollins. She serves as the Regional Development Director, the Midwest region for United Negro College Fund. And all I know is that ever since I met Lisa 20 years ago, she's done nothing but raise funds and causes. She's been at UNCF. She's been at Why Me. She helped Hurricane Katrina and the Salvation Army. She's been a giver.
Yes.
So I'm not even going into her AKA and her history, her mother.
I'm going into AKA.
Her Jack and Jill and everybody else. But Lisa is just a born mentor, and she's fought for all kinds of causes with education. And Stephen Hunter is our gala chair for A Mind Is. I want to give you all the time that you can. So Lisa, welcome. She's not just Chicago. She's not just Illinois. She's multi-markets, but she's made history for UNCF by having Target as a national sponsor. You just got a lottery ticket. And so come on.
All right, come on, Lisa.
Attorney Stephen.
What an introduction, right, Lisa?
Exactly. And I am not going to take long because I do want to defer time to our chair, Stephen. But a couple of things, Marcel. One, I want you to talk about, since you're going to talk about collaboration, I really want you to elevate the audience when you speak, because collaboration is a positive word and competition is a negative word.
Yep.
And if we collaborate, we can go many places. If we compete, we won't be able to move a sofa.
No, go nowhere.
So I think your topic is right. And we have to keep using positive and affirmative words from everybody from top to bottom, because it's easy to get into a negative slide. But if the Lord woke you up this morning,
that's it.
Inspiration.
And that's just that. I also want to say, as Tamara talked about this, but here's a real fact. 70% of African American doctors either attended an undergraduate or graduate HBCU for medical school.
Mm-hmm.
Now think about that number. We don't have that many schools.
Right.
70% of current doctors practicing attended an HBCU for graduate or medical school. So what I will say is that Saturday night, we'll have Stephen, we'll have Eric Benet, we'll have a group of masterminds, Shauna Davis, a couple of great young people. We have some surprises that are coming. And most of all, I want to give you all Stephen Hunter, who is my new best buddy and an amazing young man who took on this task, was his monumental back in March or April. I don't know. I just was thoroughly convinced we weren't going to have a gala chair, and here he comes. I want you to know this young man, he is a partner at Quarles. He's also a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. We're bringing back the Greek stroll. And we have all the Greeks right now except for Sigmas and Iota. So I'm talking about, you better call UNCF, because everybody else is going to be on the floor but you. And with no further ado, Mr. Stephen.
Welcome, Stephen Hunter.
You heard Lisa say he stepped up to the plate, and he didn't just step up. When he did a kickoff, he brought his partners from all departments to say, we're supporting UNCF. That's what leadership does.
Well, you know what? I'm going to kick it off with this question then, Stephen Hunter. Welcome to the Brunch Bunch officially one more time. Why did you step up to the plate? Why was this so important to you?
Oh, because UNCF could not go without having a gala chair. Once I understood that it was important, that somebody needed to step into the role, I was pleased to be able to step in. I was concerned that I wasn't going to be able to make the timeline, But if UNCF needed someone to step in, that was going to be me.
Well, thank you so much for stepping up because we need all of your Kappa brothers to donate.
Yes. Yeah, and quite a few of them will be joining.
Good.
So for the believers that are listening, and of course UNCF is a historic organization. Unfortunately, I know there may be a few people who are saying, well, what is UNCF and what are they doing? What are they currently doing? Can one of you talk to the mission of UNCF and what you guys are doing?
Okay, I will answer that certainly. Currently, we have funding at over 500 colleges and universities. So then your question is going to be, you don't have 500 HBCUs. Well, the reality is that most people don't understand. Most of our scholarships are written for minority students, but you can go to any 4-year or 2-year accredited university based on what the donor says. So I encourage people to go to uncf.org/scholarships, and I will give this information so they can post it on their website because we post scholarships weekly, and that might be you. We currently have over 1,100 students in school, and from the state of Illinois, we have over 300 in this past year. It used to be that our top schools here in Illinois were U of I, Urbana-Champaign, Northwestern, and Loyola. Well, since the pandemic and other things, we're now Clark, Atlanta, Morehouse, and Spelman. But we still fund some schools currently here in Illinois.
Wow.
And the Illinois Lottery Scholarship, which I'm not going to go into a lot, you guys have me back and I'll announce it.
Yeah.
Currently, we have $550,000 as of April 30th.
Wow.
And that money will go to students, not just undergraduate. It will also go to students who are in professional study schools, like lawyers, doctors, because the reason we don't have many more than we have is because of the cost.
Yep.
People can't afford to go to school, and the number one reason we drop out of school is finance.
Financial burden.
But I'm so glad that you said that because it segues us to an even more important point that UNCF fills the gap with is people start school and then funding gets interrupted and midstream they have to stop. But a lot of people were not understanding that the UNCF actually bridges that gap, and they didn't know that that was a resource. Talk about that for a moment because you all actually did save 3 students for us.
Yeah, so and this is, it depends on the scholarship, but we are able sometimes, if you owe a debt from your last semester, we can pay that. But I'm gonna give you a condition. If we're gonna give you $5,000 and your bill is 20, we're not gonna do that. Because our $5,000 will not help you get back in school. So don't call my office because you guys do. I need money, I need money, I need money. And although I love to help and I can testify on all the students I help, if your child, I'm talking to your parents right now, and I'm not ashamed of this at all. If your baby is going to school in August, don't call me on August 1st.
Right. Yeah.
I am, because it's little to nothing I can do for you then. If your children are juniors in high school, most important year, and I'm more than willing to talk. Wynona knows people call me all the time. But if you're in this financial crunch, you need to start looking for money now if you haven't. But certainly if you call me in August, I will send you to our resources. But the other thing I'm going to tell you, and don't get upset with me, we have a great community college program. City colleges are great. If your student had a B or more, they can go for free. And they have partnership agreements with our colleges and universities. So I'm just letting you know that, not that I don't want to help you, but I want to manage expectations.
But
And
you
at
knew in
least you've
grammar
been
school
honest.
college was coming, right?
Well, you know what? You don't even have to go that far back.
You
You
do.
knew when you was spending $20,000-$30,000 on prom that college was
That part.
coming, and now you don't got the money because you spent it all. And I'm not hating, do what you do. It's a different day and age now, but let's be proactive and not reactive, because then we're saying nobody helped me, but we have organizations like UNCF that are here to help, but they want to help with enough time.
But I also want to say to you too, and I'm going to go back to Stephen for this story, because he told me a wonderful story about when he was a kid. But what's more important about Stephen is he didn't attend an HBCU. He is a member of the Divine Nine. But for this to be important to him and for him to understand the significance, it's really important for him.
Because I see Georgetown and I see Brown University,
That's right.
very prestigious, Ivy League. So, Steve,
I wouldn't be here without people who went to HBCUs. My mom is an HBCU graduate. She went to Chicago State. It is written on my. So she wanted me to go to Morehouse. I made a different decision, but it is it's critically important, and I think it's important now for a lawyer to finally be the chair of the UNCF ballot because of all of the good stuff that Black lawyers are currently doing.
Yes.
Right? If you take a look at what's happening with all of the lawsuits in New York, those are being handled by Black lawyers. Right? Those are people who are educated Black folks who are actually restoring our democracy. So now is a great time for a Black lawyer to be in a position to chair this gala, to articulate to people how important it is to be investing in Black college students, to be investing in an education. It has shaped our society for the last, 50 years, right? Since 1944.
Yes.
They have been educating Black people all around this country, and they have made probably more of a difference in Black society than any other organization.
1944, that's a long time. That's
before there was an affirmative action.
Yeah. Well, Dacia Dixon on Facebook said, "Thank God for UNCF. My daughter benefited from scholarships and internships while a student at Howard and was able to graduate with no college debt."
Now, see, and Howard is not one of our 37 member schools. It's one of the 103 HBCUs, but Howard is a private school, but it's not a member. So that's a perfect example of a person not going to a UNCF school, but receiving our benefits. And we will hear from a Howard Target Scholar on Saturday.
Wow.
There is so much going on this Saturday. Is it too late for anyone to buy a ticket?
Well, no, but I'm gonna tell you, the ticket is pricey. It's $1,000. This is a corporate event. The grassroots folks, we're gonna help you at the walk, but it's not too late to go buy a ticket. Go to uncf.org Chicago, and you can see us there.
But understand where that $1,000 is.
And it's
going.
not. It's right off. You can write it off too.
Exactly.
Yeah, but let's just say you couldn't, but you can.
Yes.
But let's just say you couldn't. Do you know how much sewing you're doing with that $1,000 and the seeds that you're going to produce from that $1,000?
Absolutely.
Well, the Bible teaches us where your heart is, your treasure will be also. And if you love young people, Black students, Black colleges and universities, you should want to give to this organization.
And it's really prioritizing. I mean, I've seen men in churches where they take collections, but then have you seen the price of tickets for like Lollapalooza and all of these others? It's really a priority.
Lollapalooza, Beyonce.
So it's really...
I don't know nothing about none of that. I'm saying.
But here's the other thing. Education is the equalizer in the room. Now, we get treated differently, no doubt. But you have to have an education. And so, yes, I believe in college education, but you kids need to figure out what you're going to do when you get out of high school. Because you got to go to work. You got to do something. You young folks, y'all different than when my mom and daddy came up. I get it. But you have to do something with your life, and education is a great start.
And the mind is
a terrible thing.
It's a terrible thing to waste, but a great thing to invest in. We always run out of time, but Lisa Rollins and UNCF is their 80th year this year.
That's awesome.
But you'll hear more all year long. There is a walk coming up, and there is so many other activities. And next year is the 25th anniversary of the gala. And Lisa has done everything from black and white balls to masquerade. But I want to ask Dr. Paris Thomas to jump in and join the conversation because she also has a mother who's a doctor. She also is a 2-year anniversary and as the first African-American woman head of her group, Equal Hope. They have a big gala coming up June 20th. But Dr. Paris Thomas joined. When we talk freedom, when we talk health, the whole purpose of Equal Hope is that equity and that fight. And thank you for what you do. But tell us your story, your 2-year anniversary, your mother's story, a great point to come in on education.
Welcome, Dr. Paris Thomas.
Returning to the to community channel.
I was gonna say, wait, are they gonna be there Saturday?
To the point of education, everything you guys are talking about is really important. We are an organization focused on Black women's health disparities and specifically Black and Brown, ensuring we have access to preventative health care services, but also not dying from cancers like breast and reproductive cancers like cervical. It's really important in our communities. We're trying to engage people and get them into clinical trials and those things. But unfortunately, the historical mistrust, there aren't enough doctors that look like us. When you talk about education, these are the things that we need in order to save our communities. Our death rates are much more stark compared to the white community. We're dying at younger ages. For me specifically, sitting in the seat, I come from a mom who went to Chicago State herself. So
Absolutely.
she is a 2-time breast cancer survivor, and she was diagnosed with breast cancer my first year of undergraduate. And so I was raised by my mother, by myself, and I was like, I'm about to come home and take care of you. I don't have to go to college. She's like, no. She's like, in order for you to do something with your life, I need you to stay there.
Yep.
And so I've dedicated my life and my service to being in this space and ensuring that Black women don't continue to die from a disease that we don't have to if we get early enough treatment and it's caught early enough. And so that's kind of my story.
I heard 2-time survivor.
2-time survivor.
And she's a doctor herself?
No. She's a therapist.
Therapist.
Yes,
she's
therapist.
But she's a therapist. She's in the health field, in the health space. Okay.
Yes. And the 2-time survivor came back 9 years later. But she's doing great. She's riding motorcycles. She's living her
all right
now.
now.
But today we are still working to save many more women's lives, and we've done so through our community organization, ensuring that women who are uninsured, undocumented, are getting the services they need and are able to advocate for themselves, because that's one of the greatest points. If we don't have enough Black physicians in the room, how can we be our own advocates and save our own lives and be justified and get second opinions to ensure that we are getting the accurate treatment that we deserve?
That's
and
so
this
important.
is your 2nd year anniversary, but you've been with Equal Hope, and you've got a big gala coming up on June 20th. Tell us about that and what the program and what you're raising funds for.
And how to get tickets.
Yes, how to get tickets.
So,
I don't think your tickets are $1,000.
They are $1,000. And look here,
But a good cause.
I'm gonna get some tickets from you. So let me say that. So I'm so impressed already.
So our tickets are $400. We'll be holding the gala June 20th at the Garrity from 6 p.m. to 9
Oh,
p.m.
that's nice.
So right in the community, come out and support. The reason that we are raising funds, you get to learn more about Equal Hope's mission, but specifically supporting treatment services for women of color. Specifically those who are uninsured or may enroll in charity care. All those services are not covered. Usually they're bouncing from facility to facility, but in order that we have longevity and get the treatment we deserve, we do have to provide additional financial incentives. We also are raising money for community health workers. We have a huge community health workforce within our organization. These are individuals that actually come from the communities on the west and south side, and they're able to provide education. We give them the tools. They don't need an education. You say you got to get out and get it at 18, right? Some people don't go to college. Some people choose other routes, and these are people who are just passionate and want to save their community and are able to do it that way.
That's beautiful.
What's the website? How do they get tickets? How do they support you?
Yes, you can get tickets at www.equalhope.org, and it is right on our front banner. You just type that in and it will pop right on up. Tickets are $400. If you want to get a table, that is at $4,000. It is a great cause, and we are saving lives literally.
You know what I've learned over the years, that as African Americans, we're always looking at prices until it's Beyonce or Lollapalooza or to get those Jordans of the world.
How about getting a section at the bar?
I was gonna say,
right
you know what? There you go. Take it home. Bye.
We don't have to talk about the concerts. I'm not talking about you guys spending habits, Marcel, but then paying $1,000 for a quarter and $400 for a bottle. I ain't gonna even go.
Well, you know what?
If you know what it is, I'm talking about.
That is so true. That is when I first got serious in church and we would be going out on weekend, I would tell my friends, if I just spent $300 at the club, I got to give $500 in church, because it's not equal giving, it's equal sacrifice. And these organizations, because there's, of course, the UNCF I love, and to hear about your organization, Dr. Paris, is giving me chills, especially now that I'm a medical parent and spouse and caretaker, and I've seen the disparities in healthcare right there, and the disparities in cancer treatments because you're not at the right hospital. So we want to support. Go to equalhope.org, click that banner, get your ticket. And what day is that event again? June 20th. So first, get your UNCF ticket because that's this Saturday. And then don't go to the club or to the restaurant next week, and then get your Equal Hope ticket. And we're going to be in the room. But the biggest benefits of being in rooms like this, You never know the connections
Absolutely.
that you can make to be your next collaborator on a business venture, organization you're trying to do, or who you might just walk up to that's going to inspire you. So get your ticket.
That's exactly what community charter is. My dad loves Hidden Figures. And if you shine the light on these wonderful, worthy causes, we you know, what did Reverend Barrow say? We're not so much divided as disconnected. And so that's all what we aim to do, is to do that connection. So Dr. Paris, thank you. Lisa, thank you. Stephen, thank you. We've got more to come, but that's what Juneteenth, Illinois is also about, freedom. And that freedom would, you know, of course, our foundation of faith.
But I don't want to scare anybody who doesn't have $1,000 or who doesn't have $400. You can sew in. All you have to do is go on their websites and donate, and you can still be a part of what the game is, how the game is changing. You can be a part of that.
And you're in the community everywhere. I know Equal Hope is in the community. We'd love for people to come out and walk the gate. The walk is what day? September 10th. You can
well, we
come
definitely
walk
had you back on before. And Paris, we definitely want to have you back on. We're going to talk to Wynona so we could talk and dive really deeper into what you're doing, because we know, you know, Valencia is going through cancer. It's not breast cancer, but her best friend Matt McGill's daughter is going through breast cancer right now, and we're praying for everyone fighting, because it is a fight every day, you know.
So but these are your soldiers.
These are the soldiers.
You got to get an army. When you're in a fight, you got to get an army. And here we are giving you the army.
Yes. Well, listen, Lisa, Dr. Paris, attorney Stephen Hunter. Wait, this is a real room right here.
Right?
Listen, thank y'all.
I'm in tall talk.
I know. Listen, thank you all for joining us on the Brunch Bunch. Wynona, you never cease to amaze me. I know whenever you come in the room, you're going to bring great people, great resources, great opportunities.
To whom much is given, much is required. And I just love shining the light. We're getting ready for Who's Who in Black Chicago. And so we're going to tell the whole story all over.
We got the Who's Who in this room
today. And I was like, this is what it's about, to really give back and empower, because there's hope.
Yes, there is hope. Mine is a terrible thing to waste. Make sure you're at the UNCF Gala this weekend. Don't meet me there, beat me there. And then see us on June the 20th at the Equal Hope Organization Gala. We'll post all of this on our social media pages. In the words of the great psalmist and songwriter Glorilla, at the end of the day got to end.
I love you guys too. And to my soror over there, and to my Greek sister, we love it all.
All right. Well, believers, we love you. Up next is AC Green. After that, Pastor DeAndre Patterson with the afternoon drive. We get it done all night long right here on Inspiration 1390.
Awesome. So one of my students, who's now grown, he said that his education, he came from having a master's. He received his master's, and he got funding from UNCF, and he graduated with no debt. Flowers.
That's most important.
Yes. You know, it really does impact you when you graduate with no debt, because let's say you get a 6-figure job, right? And 30% of that is going to pay back your debt. Like, you don't realize that when you see those numbers on that offer letter, but once you get into the weeds of living, that's when it becomes real. So you guys, we don't bring you these resources because it sounds cute. We bring you these resources because they're a way for you to level up. So definitely take advantage of it. You definitely want to go to both of these galas. If you have $1,000, definitely sow into it. You will get far more than that $1,000 back. UNCF.org/scholarship. Also, equalhope.org. You cannot go to a gala and get an education if you're not healthy. So you want to start out with your health, and then you want to end up with your education. Y'all, thank you so much for being with us. We truly appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, peace.